Hello, I'm Jane Reed Ross, a landscape architect representing the Friends of Shades Creek. Each year, the Friends host the Salamander Festival in Homewood, Alabama. But this year, we're doing it virtually. And as part of that celebration, we've put together a 4-part video series on low impact development, also called LID. It's a type of environmentally friendly development that will not only help preserve the habitat of our indigenous and endangered salamanders, but other wildlife as well, even humans. We shot this video series at Stewart Perry's offices near Liberty Park, just outside of Birmingham, Alabama, in the Cahaba River watershed. We'll cover a wide range of topics that bring low-impact development to life. We're really excited to bring these videos to you, and if you have any questions or comments, please contact us at shadescreek.org. Thank you so much for watching. Hi there. In this video, the first in this series, we're exploring the basics of low-impact development with Merrill Stewart, CEO of Stewart Perry. We'll ask him about the site design of his company's home office, which is one of the best examples of low-impact development in the Birmingham area. What is low-impact development? It's a land planning and design approach to manage stormwater runoff as part of green infrastructure. We offer a more detailed description in the notes under this video on YouTube, but basically there are 3 core principles of low-impact development. Number 1 is to conserve natural areas wherever possible. Don't pave the whole site. Number 2, minimize development impact on the hydrology or the stormwater. Maximize water percolation on site with techniques such as bioretention, rain swales, and pervious paving. Again, the Stewart Perry offices offer a terrific example of LID. They have developed a site that has embraced environmentally holistic concepts that protect stormwater. The Stewart Perry campus also offers a sense of community, embracing the immediate area and beyond. Today, I'm excited to talk about the site design of this beautiful campus with Merrill Stewart. Merrill, please give us a brief history of the Stewart Perry home office site on Overton Road. When you began development, wasn't the land and the lake polluted with coal mining tailings?
You know, it was. We were looking for just the right site, close to Birmingham, close to the airport, close to the interstate system, and something that we could develop into a nice place for our people to work. Years ago, I worked for John Harbert, and he had a wonderful place on 119 for his folks. I don't know whether you've ever seen it or not, but it was like an atrium in the middle.
Right.
And I thought that if I could ever get to that point to create something well for our folks, that where they spent so much of their life, that it would be good and uplifting, and it would also send a statement to the community of what can happen with a piece of land that had been discarded and probably abused. And that's when we found this property on Overton Road.
So y'all basically restored the landscape.
Well, we did. It had a home, single-family home here in the lake, but the lake was maybe 2 feet deep, and it had a lot of coal tailings on one end. It had killed the fish. We thought there were a lot of fish in here, but there were not. There were snapping turtles and snakes, and there was also dumping grounds where folks from the surrounding areas had used it as a trash dump. So when we found it, we thought the place had a lot of pristine abilities to be good for our folks. In fact, it was funny, I called one of the local civil engineers who we use, and he never would call me back because he thought I was crazy to find this piece of property and develop it. But we eventually got it together, and it is what it is today.
Well, that's pretty amazing, and it is centrally located, so it's a perfect site to develop, but it was polluted and y'all cleaned it up and restored it. I understand that there's a blue line stream that comes through here.
There is, and blue line streams are waters of the United States. so they're protected, and we respected it, and we treated it with reverence. And we had EPA and ADEM both bless us in our use of it, so we did not impact it. It feeds this lake, as does a freshwater spring across the road feeds it as well.
So essentially this stream makes its way to the Cahaba River through the Cahaba River watershed. So cleaning this site up, you essentially help protect the waters of the Cahaba River.
We did. We created some bioswales out in our parking fields, and the water drains from these two ridges on either side of us into the bioswales. And the bioswales have cattails in them, and the suspended solids attach themselves to the cattails and the other vegetation. So when the water that comes into the lake is cleaner than the water that flows onto the property, and eventually this water out of this lake goes into the Cahaba River a short distance back behind us.
Fantastic. You know, usually when people develop an office site, they develop a footprint, a large building, a large parking lot, but y'all really didn't do that. You really adhered to the low impact development guidelines, and you broke up your buildings into several different buildings. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, we did. We wanted something that was low key, that was organic, that was single story. We wanted to use a low ratio of building to area. We have about 15 acres here. We have 25,000 feet of building. So you can see the ratio's pretty low there. But we wanted something that would be respectful of the community and that our folks could enjoy. We have a path around the lake, path around the property. Of course, the lake is stocked. We encourage folks to come fish, especially with children, to teach them the value of being outside. But it's been a really nice ride for us the last 14, 15 years.
So breaking the site up into 3 different buildings really allowed to more green space around the buildings.
Absolutely, yeah.
And all the offices have views out onto the landscape.
That's right, and all of the offices also have windows that open. We have screens on the windows, and in swing seasons, the spring and the summer, you can open up those windows and enjoy the outdoors fresh air.
Fantastic. That sounds like a great place to work.
Well, we like it.
Yeah, awesome. Talk to us a little bit, Merrill, how visual and physical access to the green space affects a sense of well-being at Stewart Perry.
Well, when we located our building on the property, our building is about 1,200 feet along the Overton Road, and it's not that deep. So what we wanted to do was place an entrance at a distance from the building, and that's what we did on one end, on the north end of the property, so that when you're driving in, you have sort of an attitude adjustment as you're coming in on the tar and gravel pavement we have. Your car kind of rumbles and you have to find a parking place. We don't have any stripes for parking, and we just have pocket areas of parking. So it sort of is it gets your mind right as you come into the building to come in off that entrance.
So you get a sense of the site and the lay of it before you actually arrive at the main building.
Absolutely. Most of the cars that come here, most of the traffic that comes here comes from the Liberty Park interchange. So as you approach the property, you go about 1,200 feet. While you see the lake, you see the property, you see the buildings, but the entrance is at the north end. So you really get to see the property and imagine what it's like, and then you turn into the property and you get to experience it as you're coming up to the building.
Right. And I noticed that the entrance drive and the parking sort of do a figure 8 configuration.
They do. With
green space in the center.
That's right. That's the bioswale. And maybe sometime in my lifetime I'll get people to figure out which of the figure 8 to drive in. But we've eventually got them. I got the Federal Express drivers to figure it out, but now I got to get everybody else to figure it out.
I alternate which way I go in
That's
each
right.
time.
That's
I think it gives you diverse options, and it's fun, to arrive a different way each time. But those green spaces do a lot as far as reducing the heat island effect.
Absolutely.
You know, you said you use the term heat sink.
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about how that works with the material that you chose.
Well, a heat sink is something dark, and most single ply roofs today are TPO roofs, which are light colored for that very reason, so they do not absorb the heat. And a tar and gravel surface area is light in color, so it's not a heat sink. It's not absorbing the heat, and like a black asphalt would, and that's what we used. Yeah.
And it looks better too. It has that old country road feel to it.
Right, it does. And we don't have any curb and gutter. It's very natural. All the stormwater that hits the surface area of the parking migrates across the natural areas into the bioswale, which goes into the lake, which goes into the Khyber River.
It essentially acts as a filter for the water.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cleaning it. That's great. And you mentioned no curb and gutter. That's typical with low impact development, not to include the curb and gutter. Usually curb and gutter funnels the water into pipes and then away to the river system. But with this, you allow the water to roll off the pavement into the green space.
That's right.
And be absorbed.
That's right.
Like a filter.
That's right.
That's key in that whole development, yeah. And it looks better too. It's less hardscape.
Well, we like it.
Yeah, it gives that sort of natural feel, doesn't it?
That's right. That's right.
Thank you for watching this video. It's one in a 4-part series about low impact development and how it can benefit the environment in a cost-efficient way. We're also exploring how LID creates healthy spaces for both employees and the community to enjoy. This video series was produced by the Friends of Shades Creek as part of the virtual 2021 Salamander Festival. That's an event highlighting the ecological diversity of Shades Creek and how we can help preserve it. If you'd like to learn more about Shades Creek and be a part of protecting our environment through responsible, environmentally friendly development, please visit shadescreek.org. Thank you for your support.